Hello everybody, SirMonkeySuit here back again with Psychopaths. We're on episode 9, and in the last episode we finished off the sort of high school art arc thing, with Rikako being essentially taken out by Makishima and his goons. Or one of his goons anyway, who's kind of acting like it's like one of them fucking like farmers like out in the middle of the countryside with these dogs hunting rabbits. That's what it seemed like. But yeah, she was taken out because, well, I think it was a mixture of a couple of things. I think mostly it was down to sort of her ideals didn't match up with his, or, you know, she was doing things for the wrong reasons. Her sights were set on, you know, very minute things, whereas I think Makishima's trying to do things on like a sort of, a larger sort of, you know, there's a larger goal in mind, and I don't think, you know, she was basically thinking of that. But also because she was very sloppy in the fact that, you know what I mean, it didn't take long for the PSB to find out where she was and who was responsible. You know, she wasn't exactly hiding it. So, yeah, she was taken out. Now, Kogami did get a hold of an audio file that was originally corrupted inside the art room, and they have audio file evidence of Makishima. So, yeah. Now, I'm kind of wondering if he's, because Makishima's like under the guise of like someone called Shibata, Mr. Shibata, who's disguised as a teacher, and I'm wondering if that is some like a permanent thing he's there, like if he's a permanent teacher, or if he just decided to join in to sort of facilitate this whole thing with Rikako, which is entirely possible. Now, the fact that there's like cameras around and they have been like looking through the cameras like to find Rikako and whatever, do they not have any, you know, since there was obviously audio evidence that Makishima was in the art room, is there not any cameras in which like he used to get there? Like, because I know obviously the video footage was corrupted, messed with, so they couldn't get the video, but like he'd had to have walked around the school. I mean, we know that he was in one of the other rooms where like the teachers' lounge thing, like the teachers, where the teachers gather, their like own room. So, you know, there's got to be other files that they can surely, you know, bring up in the CCTV, but I don't know. So yeah, I think that's all I really need to talk about. Yeah, there was that whole thing last episode about how I was confused about who Yoshika was. I was saying Yoshiko as well, which was wrong. It's Yoshika. So yeah, Yoshika was the one, like the first one that we were introduced to in the school. She's the one with the pigtails, and she was sort of like the third friend between the other two, the one with like the black head bob and the one with the ponytail. So yeah, I was completely confused about the whole situation. Like I said, the reason why I was so confused was because we were first introduced to Yoshika, and then at the end of that episode, it was like sort of like a reveal that like one of the students had been made into this sort of like statue thing, this art sculpture piece, and like from my like storytelling mind, that would suggest that was her in the beginning of the episode, you know. So the fact that it wasn't kind of got me a bit confused as to who was who. But I'm there now. I've got it sorted out. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really get into. We're just going to continue this on. Obviously, they've got this whole thing with Makishima now, so they can start to sort of try and unravel that whole thing. So we're getting into a lot of meat now. So yeah, this should be good. So without further ado, we're going to get in episode 9. Let's go.
王領理香子はすでに指名手配されています。時間の問題です。
消えるな。ちょっと来い。話がある。すまなかった。感情的になっていたのは俺の方だった。奴はお前の妄想じゃなかった。獲物の尻尾が鼻先をかすめたみたいな感じだ。俺は今久しぶりにとてもいい気分だよ。ギノ。
よし、お決まりですか？ スでお気に入りに登録しておいて。
If they can just change it to anything they want, how do they keep the economy going? Like, you know, because obviously if... I mean...
もしかしてデートとか？違うよ。
He doesn't look fucking strange at all, does he?
違うって言ってるでしょ。キャンセル、メモリー削除。
本日は全身サイボーグ化のパイオニア、地下再開発を進めるテートネットワーク建設の会長、千宮寺豊久さんにお越しいただきました。
よろしくお願いします。
私たちの生活にすっかり馴染んだものとなりました。しかし、千宮寺会長のように脳と神経系以外すべてをサイボーグ化した例はまだまだ珍しいものです。
不思議なんですよ。肉体は魂の牢獄だとプラトンは言いました。
いきなり不機嫌そうですね、鴻上さん。
タバコ吸おうとしたらそいつに噛みつかれそうになったんだよ。
老いを克服することがこれほどまでに幸福なこととは。
So how long can he live
機
for
械の
then?
体を受け入れない限り理解はできないでしょう。
脳の寿命は150年程度とされています。脳の完全な機械化はまだまだクリアできていない課題の山積みとか。
その間にブレイクスルーが起きることを期待しますよ。
なるほど。もしもそれが起きたとしたら。
さよう。不死
Immortality.
の時代の到来です。
When people start getting fucking visions of that, that's when they start going a bit mental.
全身の5割を超えるサイボーグ化には抵抗を感じると答えた方が大多数のようですが。
Because you feel like you lose a bit of your humanity, right? I mean...
人の気持ちはわかりますよ。結局は程度の問題なんですよ。そして家にはホームオートメーションと AI セクレタリー。それらのデータが災害や事故によって一気に失われたらあなたはどうなりますか？
復旧するまで何の仕事もできません。
So the thing is that they all rely on machinery and all that shit as it is.
そこまで電子的な装置に委託している
Yeah, what difference does it
サイ
make,
ボ
I
ー
guess?
グではないと言っても説得力はありませんよ。
So...
どうも、鴻上です。
環境フォローほとんど使ってませんね。
そういうのが嫌いな人なんだ。
はじめまして、公安局の監視官常森茜です。今日はよろしくお願いします。
入りたまえ。歓迎するよ。森茜監視官。
はい。
千葉県出身かな？
そうですけど。
君は運動神経は悪くないのに。
Doesn't look like it should be that
泳
athletic.
げない。
How can you tell that?
両親はまだどちらもご存命。祖父か祖母。祖母だな。可愛がってもらった。かなりのおばあちゃん子だね。
相変わらずですね、雑賀先生。
今のどうやったんですか？
ただ観察しただけさ。
雑賀ジョージ先生。専門は臨床心理学。
精神鑑定や捜査協力なんかをしているうちにいつの間にか犯罪の研究に主軸が移ってしまった。
Is that why he stays away from it? Because if he's that, they probably have no need for him anymore, right?
先生が保管している今までの受講生名簿を見せてください。
それは公安局からの要請かな？
いえ、個人的なお願いです。シビラシステムの誕生以降、最悪の犯罪者だと思われます。特殊なカリスマ性を持ち、自分で直接手を下すことは少なく、他人の精神を支配し影響を与え。
カリスマ性には3つの要素がある。英雄的預言者的資質、あるいは一緒にいて気持ちがいいというシンプルな空間演出能力、そしてあらゆることを雄弁に語るための知性。
Hello everybody, just a reminder that if you go into the link in the description to my Patreon and go to the early access tier for $5 a month and gain that, you can actually get access to 4 episodes of Psychopaths every single week as opposed to the usual 2 that the general public get. So if you're clamoring for more reactions from me more frequently, then that's where you want to go. Again, it's in the description below, Patreon, early access tier for $5 a month. On with the video.
少しはあんたの役に立ったか？
はい、とても。すごい先生です。公安局のアーカイブに入ってないのが不思議で仕方ありません。
シビラシステムと大学制度が同時に存在していた頃の話だ。公安局捜査官のために 雑賀先生の特別講義が設けられていた。機捜が濁り、犯罪係数が上昇したんだ。ま、全員じゃないがね。今日のようなマンツーマンの講義なら大丈夫だ。それにあんたは色相が濁りにくいたちだしな。
最も狡猾でいくら狩り殺しても絶滅の心配がない動物は何だと思う？
Cockroaches.
人間でしょ。
簡単すぎたな。
Not for me, it wasn't.
今はもう牧島君には感謝しているんだよ。
象牙ではありませんね。
まだ見せたことはなかったな。このタイプはマウスピース以外は横領リカ子の骨だよ。
ほう。
恐怖に震え上がる獲物たちの魂が私に活力を与えてくれる。生命とは他の命を犠牲にすることで健やかに保たれる。
Of course.
だが体の若さばかりを求め心を養う術を見失えば当然。
それは死と隣り合わせの危険な報酬ですな。
そうとも狩りの獲物が手強いほどにみずみずしい若さが手に入る。
そこまで仰せなら次はとびきりの獲物をご用意できるかと。
ほう。
名前は
結局
Well, good luck.
雑賀教授の受講者名簿は空振りでしたね。
仕方がない。だが牧島が生きている人間なら必ずどこかに足跡がある。
常森監視官を雑賀城寺に引き合わせたそうだな。
ああ、
どういうつもりだ？彼女を巻き添えにしたいのか？貴様と同じ道を踏み外した潜在犯に二度と社会に復帰できない潜在犯を身代わりに立てているからこそ君は自分の心を守りながら職務を遂行できるんだ。
そんなのチームワークじゃありません。犯罪を解決するのと自分のサイコパスを守るのと一体どっちが大切なんですか？私は確かに新人です。宜野座監視官は尊敬すべき先輩です。しかし階級上は全くの同格ということを忘れないでください。
Oh
自
shit.
分の責任をちゃんと管理できています。いくら先輩とはいえ職場で執行官たちの目の前で私の能力に疑問符をつけるような発言は慎んでいただきたい。
Damn. Whoa. Whew.
口調を通して抗議します。
やめておいてくれないかな、お嬢ちゃん。
でも
かがな、父親が潜在犯なんだ。
Alright, we're getting some.
あいつの子供時代ってのはまだシビラ判定が実用化されて間もない頃でな。親兄弟から犯罪係数が計測されたというだけでその家族までもが同類の扱いを受けた。刑事が捜査に深くのめり込めば結局はシビラシステムから犯罪者の同類としてマークされるようになる。犯す側も取り締まる側も同じ犯罪という現象に直面していることに違いはない。だからあいつは自ら進んで危険を犯す奴を許せない。なのに同僚だった鴻上も
知ってます。
父親と相棒に二度も裏切られたという思いがあるんだ。
It's one of those things where it's like you don't have the right to tell people what they can and can't do. You know what I mean? Like that's where it becomes selfish, you know?
例の牧島ってやつのこと以外目に入らなくなっちまってるのかもしれ
He
ない。
is focused on it.
私は生け捕りにしないよ。いいのか？
もちろん。どうして生け捕りなんて？
鴻上信也、その名前を口にするとき君はとても楽しそうなんだよ。
Okay, episode 9. Right. So I want to know then is maybe I need to look up exactly what a latent criminal is, because let's have a look here. Yeah. All right, here we go. Well, yeah, I've got the numbers that decide whether or not. So under 100, suspect is not a target for enforcement action. The dominate will be locked. 100 to 299. They classify as a latent criminal and the target. is set to non-lethal paralyzer mode. Okay. And yeah, over 300's lethal force. So, I mean, well, I guess it's, I guess from 60 to like 100 then, or 60 to 99 is where they need therapy. So, alright then, because I just wanted to know whether Genoza's father was dead or not, but a latent criminal only goes so far as to paralyze. So, is he in prison then? I don't think that'll be right, because then at least... Unless Masuoka is Genoza's father. Because he's quite old, right? I don't know though. Because, like, obviously Genoza and Masuoka, like, well, Genoza has a problem with Masuoka seemingly the most out of all of them. You know, the whole, like, there can be a father issue kind of thing going on. So it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case, because I'm just wondering if it was just set to paralyzer mode, right? That means they are taken and they would have been put into prison, right? As was said, this was during a time when enforcers weren't even a thing, so they would have just been thrown in prison then, I guess, until the enforcers were a thing, and then they could bring people out to do that. Anyway, yeah, so Akane probably just straight up stood up to, because I mean, just here's the thing, right? She's not wrong. I feel like Genoza's taken up this sort of, trying to take up this position like Akane's like superior, when in reality that they're the same rank. Obviously the fact that he's a senior, you know what I mean, that's just about like respect, but the like one order doesn't overrule the other in that sense, you know. They're exactly the same rank, so the fact that she stood up to him, I did quite like. I mean, yeah, right. I think you can see where Genoza's sort of problems lie, but you know, I mean, Genoza said it in the like earlier on in the episode to Kagami, like, I'm sorry, it was me that got overly emotional, and I think like he needs to take some of his like own advice in other situations with that, because I feel like when it comes to this whole thing of, you know, Akane like sort of following Kagami around and doing that style of investigating, Genoza doesn't like it, because that's the kind of shit that got Kagami into a latent criminal stage anyway. So while like I understand the fact that like of the reason why he is pissed at it, it's still selfish. You're still expecting people to follow what you like. I feel like it's a very selfish sort of outlook. I mean, of course, yeah, it would be bad for Akane to get to that point and become an enforcer, so, you know, but I don't think he's doing it to look out for Akane. I think he's doing it because he just doesn't like that whole situation. We've got Kagami feeling good that he's on the track of like Makishima, like on his scent. Which yeah, just lays, obviously it's furthering that idea that Kagami's like feeling at his like he's feeling at his best when he's like, you know, on these investigations and shit, when he can be like a true investigator. I was like, how does their economy work? Like, I don't understand how that, because they don't have to pay for clothes, right? I mean, I imagine, unless like they have to pay for like, if it's like a fucking, I don't know, like a cosmetic feature like in a game or something where like you pay for like skins and shit. I don't know if that's what they do, but I don't think so though, because Akane was like flicking through and she found something that she like almost like it was something new. Like it's not like something she went and bought. So and then she was like, yeah, like this, I'll keep this. So they don't have to pay for fucking clothing, which, you know, they obviously don't have to pay for any furniture or anything like, well, they can pay for furniture, but you can just change out, like, you can just change, it could be a shit couch, but you can just change the look of it. How does their economy work? I want to know more about this, because that is a bit like, I want to know. I'm wondering if it's something like, because there is a sort of there's a like an ideal world situation where people sort of believe that, you know, what would be best is that people are given, everyone is given you know, sort of what's the term, like average housing, sort of, you know, everyone is given housing and everyone's given food, but like, you know, and that is that. But if you choose to work, so like obviously in one of these sort of like economies, or like the economy like district things, like they've got like what they say, like 13 districts or whatever you can work in. If you work in those places, then you're given like higher up, like a higher up standard of living, I guess. And that is something I can't remember it off fucking the top of my head, but there's something like that is in the world today about how we could fix this whole fucking like situation of fucking poverty and shit, and you know, and I'm wondering if that's what this is, where people are just given housing, right? And they're given all of the like all of the tools things needed to survive, right? But the people who are like working in these sort of these avenues, these districts, these fucking organizations and whatnot, if they're given like a higher standard of living, I wonder if that's how it works, because I feel like if you're not having to go out and buy clothes and buy furniture and buy, what else could the fucking I don't know if Akane goes out and like buys food from like a supermarket, and then depending on what she has in her fucking food storage situation, she can just have it made by her holographic avatar thing. Because we haven't really seen that and it hasn't been explained yet. I don't know if they could just make fucking food from, you know, I don't know. That's what I want to know. I want to know more about the world and how that works. And if this is only, because I feel like this is only city-wide, right? This whole system. It's not like nationwide or even globally. I don't know. Anyway, so Senguji. Senguji is the one that was the fucking the hunter guy. Who killed Rikako last episode. and he's a cyborg. He's pretty much a full cyborg. The only thing that he's basically said that he's got left is his brain. I imagine it must be his central nervous system's in there as well, because I don't know, or they have some sort of maybe artificial nervous system that works along with his mechanical body. But yeah, I mean, the guy looks fucking insane. Anyway, even if it's just the fact that he's a cyborg, he looks like a fucking maniac. But yeah, we've got the sort of professor, the guy, the fucking Saiga or whatever his name is. He's like a psychologist. So it makes sense the fact that he's living in a place where holographic technology and all that kind of stuff isn't really prevalent. And you can see why he's chose to go for like the more traditional side of it, because obviously his job of psychology was basically taken away by the civil system. Like there's no need for him anymore with that kind of thing, and that kind of goes in line with you know, the way of thinking that in the future, obviously we are making things, we are inventing things that are supposed to make human life more convenient, right? Now, along with that, you are starting to, and this is already in, like we're already in the process of making machinery. We've already got things in place that where machinery are taking the jobs of like actual humans and stuff now, you know, because they can just do a better job at it. Now, I'm not saying that the fucking civil system is a better job than what this guy can do, but according to the government that's working this fucking city, and wherever else it's prevalent, they believe that it is, because apparently, according to what Kogami said, Saiga's like psychology and methods of sort of teaching it and using it actually increases people's crime coefficient, whereas I don't know how they get around it with the system. I guess it's just the act of telling people and going and thinking on their psychology, instead of just where the system just determines whether our psychology is out, sort of, that's it. So there's no thinking involved. What I'm beginning to see is that I think what Kogami wants to be is an investigator that investigates, a detective that detects. Like, he wants to do that job, and he wants to do it with his own thinking, and I think he wants to even go so far as to like not like not almost work in tangent with the civil system itself, but he wants to go all the, you know what I mean? So yeah. Anyway, yeah, so Saga, yeah, he kind of works outside of it. I don't know what he does now. Like, he has this whole place to himself. I don't know if the government have told him that he can't do what he used to do, or what. I don't know. I don't know. Or if he's like still in business, and some people might just prefer to actually go see him. Maybe he's like some sort of, I guess he could work as maybe like a therapist or something, right? But yeah, I don't know. You were saying something about like the better relationship you have with like the elderly. The sort of a connection, meaning that if you have a better relationship with the elderly, you have a better relationship with, like, I think he said something like Hollow Avatar or something. Like, I guess the Hollow thing that what's his name? Candy, the fucking thing that's in Akane's place. Yeah, that's it's a strange one. I don't know how they made that connection, but like, for being a psychologist, I mean, even being at that level that he is, to be able to figure out all of that, that's that's pretty far. I'm surprised he even got that far. But yeah, so we've got Senguji, who's basically given the green light to go after Kogami, which yeah, good luck, mate. The guy's the fucking like protagonist of the show. You're a cyborg, mate. You're not even the main fucking bad guy, so yeah, good luck with that. But I kind of want to see how, I guess, the crime coefficient, like the civil system still picks up on him even though he's a cyborg, right? Because obviously it goes via his brain. How that would work if because obviously they were talking about, we haven't really gotten to that point where we can exchange a brain with a cybernetic brain, if they would even allow that. Because I feel like once you get to that point, if you get to the point where you've got a cybernetic brain, and then at that point you can literally start uploading information to it, and at that point, if you can upload information to it and access it like a computer, then at that point you can kind of go ahead and change it and like alter it, which I feel like would go against everything that the civil system is, you know. Obviously they were having that whole like interview thing and whatnot, and how people are hesitant to go full 100% and only go 50. Obviously this guy's gone mental. He's gone to the full, you know, as soon as you start getting into like, all right, we're going to try and extend our life, right? No, but then we're going to try get into immortal stages. Like once you start thinking that point, that's when you start going fucking nuts, because at that point, that's all you're looking for, and you'll do anything in your power to get it. He wants to be, and then he's like, well, but no, we should become gods. It's like, right, okay, where this fucker's at now? God complexes galore. I think, you know, the whole thing with people only wanting to go 50% is they don't want to lose their humanity. You know what I mean? Your humanity is what makes you you. That guy is on the fucking edge. Obviously, we are our brain. That's what we are. And the fact that he's still got it means that technically, yes, he is still him. But to almost to what degree? You know what I mean? Like, you start getting into a sort of territory of, you know, they even have the same empathy and sympathy of a human at that point. You know what I figure is, like, every time I react to these different shows, is that a lot of subjects happen throughout the same shows that I'm doing. So obviously we've got Parasite, which is the same thing, with obviously aliens not having that empathy and stuff, and you know, and now we've got this one where, you know, humanity's at a point where it's so far like into the future that we are at a point where like machinery and computing technology and AIs are around, and they're kind of at the point where they're pushing you know, further beyond what a human can do. And you know, at a point, at what point do you no longer become human, you know? And I think it's definitely a main theme that this show is telling and pushing, is that idea of like, the further we advance and like our species and whatnot, is the further we get away from being human. I mean, we, because of our evolution as a human species, because our evolution is so long, like it's so far, it takes us so long from like us to, you know, if you want to go down the evolution route of, you know, when we were primates and whatnot, you know, that evolution took fucking so long that you can barely even, you know, you can barely even compute and research it. So to us now living, considering our lifetimes are only, what, on average between like 70 and 90 years old, right? I think our average lifespan's like 75 or 76, something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's just nothing in the time of space. So to us, we have technically, organically gone as far as we can possibly go. Like we don't evolve from here, you know. So when we advance and we get to this point where our technology, the next step is what this guy's saying, is you start implementing machinery with yourself. Technically, we kind of already done it with people who have lost limbs in wars and for other reasons and whatnot, and you get artificial limbs. You know what I mean? That's kind of like the start of it. But at that point, you're not, you know, it's not like you've just taken one off just to get one. You know what I mean? Because still, people would rather have their own limbs than have artificial ones. But, you know, push forward 50 years to 100 years when this takes place. I believe it does. Like, this is like 2100-ish. You know, you'll be getting to the point where machinery can be made, artificial limbs can be made that can do things that even the human body can't do. So at what point do we get in our lifetimes where we are pushing the boundaries so far to the point where we don't even become human anymore? And it's an interesting topic, but I think I've rambled on quite enough. So yeah, we're going to get on to episode 10 next. So that was episode 9. So thank you everyone for watching. Got a bunch of links in the description that you can go to. One of them is the Discord. I urge everyone to go over there, especially if you want to just, you know, join with me in the community and talk over there. Also, if you want to, you know, if you want me to react to a certain show, that's where you should go, because that's where polls and things start. And also my my Patreon. So yeah, Patreon's obviously the big one. That's where, you know, I can be supported by you guys if you want certain things, certain rewards that I can give you, depending on how much you want to support me with. So $5 a month, that's the early access. For that, you can gain access to 4 episodes of every single show that's on Patreon every single week. So that's 4 episodes of Psychopaths, 4 episodes of Suzumiya Haruhi, 4 episodes of Tokyo Ghoul, and 4 episodes of Code Geass every single week. 16 across the whole week, 64 episodes across the whole month. That's 32 for the general public, so you're getting double for $5 a month. I think it's pretty good value. So if you're clamoring for more reactions from me more frequently, that's where you want to go. $10 a month, that's the full length. So if you want to see my full length reactions to everything I do, that includes the shows I just mentioned, plus My Hero, Attack on Titan, and ReZero. That's where you want to go. $15, that's the exclusive, so that gives you access to another show I'm currently doing, which is Parasite. And also all OVAs across all shows go into there, and movies as well. They'll go into there as well. $50 a month, that is the elite tier. That gives you a choice of a show that you want me to react to, and I will react to it. It will go to the back of the queue, the list. I think there's about 7 shows in the backlog, so it'll take me a while to get to it. But if you want to jump the queue and go to the very front, then you want to get God tier. That means your show will be reacted to next. So that is $100. So yeah, the only rules that go on those last 2 tiers are that the show must be 150 episodes or less, and it must be a show I've never seen before. And yeah, they're both a cumulative God tier and elite tier. So obviously with my Patreon being pay a monthly basis, if you pay the first month $100, you get your show on the list, and then the second month comes along, if you pay again, you get another choice. Third month, third choice, fourth month, fourth choice, so on and so forth. But that was all. So thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.